hypotheses or shared objectives that are closely aligned. It doesn't have to match up exactly the same. But the key thing is you have to sort of think through what's missing from your equation. And of course, the hypothesis helps you define who the players need to be. A common mistake people make in thinking through working to break the constraints is they focus on the things that they've got, and they focus on the things that they know a lot about, but fail to see the things that they don't see. And so some of the strategic tools strategic planning tools that I'll go over are designed to help you sort of think through things that you can't see. It's the unknown unknowns that always kind of get you. So that's a quick breeze through about how you can think about the ecosystem. I haven't defined it for you. I'm just having you sort of think through how do we think about what is in the ecosystem, who the players are, and what the dynamics might look like. So let's spend a little bit of time thinking through some of the tools for competitive strategy. I like tools. I like tools because it gives us a way to sort of work through problems. You don't have to use tools. You and I can just sit down and talk through these things. But again, when we just do that in an unstructured manner, we bias ourselves, or we bring out our biases and we just stay with the things that we're very comfortable with. Even if we talk about things that are threats to our work, or things that may be competing against us, we tend to only treat it in a way that's solvable. And a lot of the strategic tools that I've worked with really forces an organization to think through, again, the unknown unknowns, and to really think through the competitors and the competitive forces that may be uncomfortable, sort of forgotten about. So that's kind of what I use to sort of think about some of the tools that I'd like to show you. I like having a methodology. The reason why I like having that is because discussing things and putting up charts and doing the work is always fun, but you have to sort of finish that and get to the next step. And without a methodology in place, a lot of folks can sort of get lost in the discussion and keep on asking questions, which is great, but you have to sort of work your way through that. So there are 3 tools that I want to briefly discuss today. One of these will be done as an exercise. It'll be fun to see how it plays out. You may be familiar with some of these or all of these. You may not be. But I wanted to sort of bring these out and give you a sense of why I think they're important when we're thinking about something like the clean technology ecosystem. SWOT analysis, some elements of game theory, and an exercise called alternative futures. So let me start with SWOT analysis. Many of you are familiar with SWOT analysis. SWOT, S-W-O-T, simply stands for strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats. It's a well understood and fairly simple tool in the world of strategic planning. I personally believe that this is one of the least utilized tools in strategic planning. I think the simplicity makes people think that it's not worthwhile going through. I think another mistake that you can make with the SWOT analysis is you do it and you think that that's sufficient to have you go through an actual strategic planning process. It's a great place to start. It's a great tool to sort of force the organization to talk through certain things, but it's not an end-all. And let's just sort of work through an example. Always better with examples. Let's pretend that you're Blockbusters Video. So I started thinking through, yes, your Blockbusters Video. We're Blockbusters Video, right. So let's start to think about our collective strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What is our strength? Well, we've got the ability for the customers to physically browse through movies in boxes. That's kind of nice. I see that, and I see something over there. I see some customers doing something over there. What are they interested in? Ideally, you may have knowledgeable help close by, which may or may not be actual. You've also got an existing membership base. That's actually quite useful. You've got customers, you've got names, what they've checked out. I think you can still pay with cash, so that's no credit card required as long as you've got a card. And you don't have to have other things like internet connections. You can just stop in and get a movie. Your weaknesses are you've got a limited selection, especially in today's world of thousands and thousands of movies. You've got perception and bad past experiences. Customers may have to wait in line. You've got a cost structure. You've got these physical buildings. Your opportunities may be things like you could blend your in-store and online mail order service. It's possible to sort of change up your offerings. You can do multi-products, whereas some of your competitors are all about videos. You may be able to sell more candy and other things. And you can try different things like smaller footprint or store within a store concepts. But you've got threats. You've got the speed and availability of online services. You've got studios favoring other channels for releases. And you've got other forms of entertainment. What people don't recognize with SWOT is you've obviously got the good and the bad. The strengths and opportunities are good, and the weaknesses and threats are the bad. But this other axis is a way for you to help think through the internal or now. So strengths and weaknesses are sort of your current situation, but the opportunities and threats is really the external or the future. And this is typically the area of any kind of analysis that's difficult to do. So I bring this up not because SWOT analysis is very complicated or something you've not heard of, but when we're thinking through something like the clean technology ecosystem, where again, it's very nascent, it's hard for us to sort of think through some of the external, outside threats, and you've got to sort of force yourself through from both an opportunity and threats perspective. So that's SWOT. Let's do game theory. And for this, I'd like for each of us, I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There's 17 of us, so I will participate. So each of you should introduce yourself to the person you're sitting next to. Everyone should pair up. This is a networking event, so if you haven't introduced yourself to the person sitting next to you already, they're not getting their money's worth. So please do them a favor by introducing yourself, and we'll go through this little exercise. Everyone needs to be
Nice to meet you.
And I'd like for everyone needs a pencil or a pen, and I'm passing out white index cards. Thank you. This is a networking event. Everyone should have brought a writing implement. So everyone should have a white index card in front of them, and when you get it, I'd like for you to do a couple of things. So in your pairs, you have to decide who is A and who is B.
Okay.
So each pair, somebody is A and somebody is B.
Okay.
We have to write that down?
I'd like for everyone to write down your name, and then put a dash and write down whether you're A or B in your pairs. One person is A, and the other person is B. And it doesn't matter.
Do we have to talk about this, or just decide?
No. You have to decide who is A and who is B. Yes. One person is A.
Where's one group to be?
No, in each pair, there is an A and a B.
Right, 1, 2.
A's here.
How many times do we need?
And you
So every person needs to have one other person. It needs to be pairs.
This isn't brain surgery, people.
So every person should be now. I think we have an odd number. So
Yeah, that comes later.
So
Only if you lose.
who does not have a partner?
What am I doing here?
I'll keep
I
going.
don't even know what I'm doing. I got pens.
So everybody needs to be part of a pair, and only groups of 2.
What did you become part of?
And within that group, one person is A and the other person is B.
Let's keep going.
Okay.
You guys work together.
Everybody needs a card. Yes.
Everybody or every team?
No. Every person needs a card.
Ah.
Does every person have a card? I didn't say that part.
Neil?
You guys are a pair. Bring an extra pair.
And I want you to
That makes
each person turn the card vertical. Write your name and whether you're A or B. Write down 1, 2, and 3, and draw a line so that there's a little bit of space underneath. So it should look like that. And now that you've introduced yourself to your partner, you probably saw this. What's her name? We're going to play a competitive game with our partner. And you may have seen something like this if you've done some work in game theory, but here's how you play. First of all, no coordination. You can't collude, you can't pre-plan and try to game the system. You're trying to win. And we have a prize for the winner, right? The person that has the highest score will win a pen and also free admission to not the next
To September's
event. So there.
Right.
All right. So we're going to play 3 rounds with the same partner, or against the same partner, and in each round, each person will choose a low strategy or a high strategy. Just one strategy per round. Now, here's how you score. If you are A, and you play the low strategy, and your opponent also plays the low strategy, you, A, will get 3 points. And B will also get 3 points. But if you are A and you play a low strategy, but your opponent, B, plays the high strategy, you will get 0 points, whereas B will get 5 points. On the other hand, if you're A and you play the high strategy, and B plays the low strategy, A will get 5 points, but B will get 0 points. Is this chart making sense?
Yeah.
All right.
It's the
And if you
opposite.
both play high strategies, you each get 1 point. So, think of a strategy. Next to the first round number one, next to your number 1, decide without talking to your opponent whether you're going to play whether you're going to play low or high. Just write L or H.
Just like a coin flip?
You get to decide whether you're going to play a low strategy or a high strategy. Don't tell your opponent. And after you've now decided, tell your opponent what you've played and score yourself. So you show your opponent what strategy you played.
We're doing that for all 3?
That's right, that's right. So everyone is done with just 1 round. Score yourself. Just do 1 round at a time. Score yourself. Say again.
We write it down?
Correct. Write your score next to your strategy decision, whether you get. So you should see a 1, and an L or an H, and then a number.
Sure.
All right. So everyone's done with that first round, right?
How dare you?
All right. Second round, without revealing a strategy, decide on another strategy. Decide on a strategy again. You can keep the same strategy. You can change up the strategy, whatever you'd like. This is round 2. Again, decide whether you're going to go low or high.
Do we want to check the score? But
You have
round or we do
after
it
the
after
first
the
round, you should score yourself.
Okay. So I did check the score.
Right, right. And you can only score by taking a look at what your opponent has done, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. Right. So, decide on your strategy for round 2. Now show your strategy to your opponent. Again. Both hit high, you each get 1 point. Alright, so everyone's done with round 2?
No.
No. Well, it's just either low or high, Neil.
You were thinking about my evil twin.
So we're gonna wait until, Neil finishes round 2.
Okay.
Alright, now you have to reveal your, have you decided as well?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, and then you can
Okay.
score, show each other what you
I showed
chose.
it. I picked high.
Me too.
Alright, then if both picked high, you each get a point apiece.
Okay.
Alright, everyone's ready for round 3?
Yeah.
Decide on a strategy for round 3 without coordinating. After you've decided, show it to your opponent, score yourself.
Are we being judged
Okay, so
individually?
People are being judged individually, or not.
we tied.
That's your mistake.
Yeah.
We know each other too well.
Alright, so everyone's done with round 3? Alright, okay. So now tally up your 3 rounds,
Okay.
1 plus 3 plus 1 or whatever. 0 plus 0 plus 0, whatever.
My strategy